All right. Well, I'm really excited. I wanted to introduce myself to a few of you that are new, and for those of you that were here last year, I want to give us a little bit of history from my perspective of what I walked into last year. Okay, so I haven't been in California since last year. It's been about exactly a year. But when I walked into the office last year, he says, "You're right." So last year we walked in, and that was Monday at 6 p.m. And we started the conference the next day, and there was a banner this big, and it said, "Our mission, to elevate people's lives." Who? And he listed all these, and there was a big picture of your team. So he started to shift from only and mostly focusing on clients to have a holistic perspective. So sometimes your mission will tweak. It will change a little bit. And then throughout the course of the year in January, he decided to get away from RE/MAX and to start his own brand, which is now Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, right? The name doesn't matter. What you do matters. Who you're serving matters. Why you're doing this. That's what really matters. Okay? So things change, things evolve, things develop. So we're constantly growing. We're constantly evolving. So what I like about coming in here today is that this is the mission right now. This is the reasons, the purposes of why you're a part of this team. Okay? Rudy's the captain. Rudy and Benny are the captain on the cruise ship, and they are turning the rudder for this person, for this reason. This is the destination to help you achieve your heart's desire. Well, who? Who are we talking about? You. Rudy is here to serve you so that you achieve your heart's desire. And if that's your mission, is to help other people achieve their heart's desire, then as Rudy would say, money is a certificate of appreciation for a job well done. Right? People will compensate you. Zig Ziglar, he's a former motivational speaker, he said, "You'll have everything in life that you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want." My challenge to you is when you're serving somebody, give what you can give. Do your best job, because you don't know who you're serving, and you don't know how that's going to impact your life. That client that you really despise, maybe something's going to come out of that. You're going to have an awareness for yourself that's going to challenge you to grow. It's one thing to just take care of yourself. It's another thing to be building a team. So when we talk about corporate America, this is what we talked about. You're the CEO, you're the team leader, you're the top dog, you're all that, right? Good for you. You have the name, the status. As far as authority, you're at the top. But as far as responsibility, you are at the bottom. You know why? Because what happens if y'all quit today? You come to this conference, you say, "You know what, I'm tired of Rudy. I don't like him anymore. I don't get any gains from him. I see another shining star. We're out of here." And Dion, come back to California. We got a problem we got to take care of, right? And I would sit down with them and I say, "Hey, what happened?" They all left. So now, who has to answer the phone? Who has to do the marketing? Who has to do the listing? Who has to do the TC? Who has to do the admin? Who has to do everything? So, as far as being a boss, yeah, you're at the top. But as far as responsibility, you're at the bottom, holding this whole thing up. And the better you can hold everyone else up, the better they take that weight off of you. Man, New, I appreciate you. You take this whole administration off of me. Whew, that was a lot of weight. Margaret, You take all these ISAs, and we want to keep growing. And I don't have to make that call. I don't have to, man, that took a lot of weight off me. And I have these team leaders, and I have these OSAs. I don't even have to go on an appointment anymore. Because if you had to hold all that yourself, you can't. It's not physically, that's the infrastructure you're talking about, scaling. So if you're a team leader, the better you know how to hold other people up is the better that they're going to succeed. I do conferences that teach leadership. It's E3. Equip, empower, encourage. And that's not just if you're Rudy. That's not just if you're a team leader. That's a process. My daughter's 15. As soon as we get back home from vacation, guess what? She's going to the DMV, and she's going to go pass a test. And then I'm going to be sitting in the passenger side, and I'm going to equip her how to drive. And I'm going to teach her. And hopefully I'm a graceful teacher. Hopefully I don't freak her out, right? So as she learns how to drive, she's going to go take a test, and they're going to say, you're ready. So we'll give you a license. Well, just because the state says it doesn't mean Daddy says it. But when I give her approval, I don't just equip her, I empower her. Here's the keys, honey. Go have fun. So I equipped her, then I empowered her to do it. And some people don't equip well. Some people empower people too quickly. They're not even equipped. They just say, hey, here's the keys. Don't wreck. I don't even know if you can drive. But if I equip them and then I empower them, I want to stay connected. Hey, new, you're a person. Hey, Andy. Hey, Alex. How are you? You're a person. So the first thing I always want to know is, how you doing, man? Right? When I talk to New, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Right? When we talk to Andy, hey, man, how's it going? We don't just go right into business. You're a person. How are you? Good? Awesome. Sometimes people say, oh, I'm good. No, you're not. I just heard it. I was listening. So I'm good, right? How are you? Second thing is, how can I support you? That doesn't mean I'm going to get in the car and drive for you. That's not what I'm saying. You wanted to be a part of this zoo, so I gave you the keys, so don't bring the monkey and put it on my desk and say, you feed it. No, that's you. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm saying, how can I support you to make sure your area is going well, your business, right? How can I mastermind with you? How can I give you resources? How can I help you? Is there something else that you need equipped again or differently so that I can equip you on that? So that I can empower you in the next area, so that you can win. So that's called encouragement. You walk beside somebody. You're encouraging them. When they are discouraged, you encourage them. Right? That is in Rudy's heart, to elevate people. He said it a year ago. That hasn't changed. I know that. So the better he learns how to elevate people, the better everyone can thrive. Not just exist, to thrive. To win. Y'all follow me? Is this making sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, it's really important to give your best. Rudy didn't know when he served that first client that he would have a team like this. He just did the first step. It was a small win. He didn't know when he hired the first OSA, right? He's like, well, I can either do this and max out, or I could start hiring other people and we could impact more people. He didn't know how this whole thing was going to turn. He doesn't know exactly what it's going to look like 5 years from now. He's just enjoying the journey, right? He's in the cruise ship and he's moving on. And he's doing the best he can. So the bigger your team grows, though, you got to be careful, Rudy, right? Because you're not in a speedboat anymore. Like when it was just you and a couple people, if you wanted to go right, you just whip the thing and you can get right there, right? When you're in a cruise ship, you turn that thing too fast, the whole thing's going to fall over, right? You got to take your time. It's got to be slower because the bigger impact, you got to slow it down a little bit. But what's important is getting to the 5-star island. How many of y'all have been on a cruise before? Anybody been on a cruise before? All right. So imagine you're on the cruise and you get in the boat and your captain says, we're going to the 5-star island. When you get over there, it's going to be a long journey, so enjoy yourself. But when we get over there, it's going to be amazing. The food, the people, the culture, the music, the dancing. I mean, it's going to be awesome. So let's all get on. So you get in there, and the captain turns the rudder 1 degree, and over a long haul, 2,000 miles, you're getting to your destination. Well, what happens if the captain is here and they turn the rudder 1 degree the wrong way? Whoa, whoa, hey, where's he going? 2,000 miles, you're on Survivor. You're not on the 5-star, you're barely existing. 1 degree over a long haul gives you 2 different destinations. So think about you, your life. Think about your marriage. Think about your children. Think about your team. Think about your clients. You are the captain of your life. If you're a team leader, you're the captain with a lot of people on your boat. And when you turn 1 degree, it doesn't just impact and influence you, it impacts everybody else that's with you, your family, your community, whoever. Right? The better you succeed, and for those of you who have a team and you have that nonprofit, the more profit that comes in the business, the more you can help the boys and girls, the more you can help the children's hospital, the more you can help other people. Right? And you don't even know. You might be sitting there three years from now at a banquet because you helped the nonprofit organization. You end up sitting next to somebody that changes your life. And it's because of that small win. Years back, I joined this team, and they said that we should be a part of a nonprofit. And then I picked one. And then, wow, you backtrack and you say, wow, how did I get here? Rudy's like, how did you do this, man? Right? It was one step. Small wins lead to great victories, okay? When I had a kid and we were losing the game or when we were winning the game, that didn't matter. What mattered was, are you giving your best effort? Are you doing what it takes to reach your potential? So you have a job to do on this team. You have a team that you're a part of. You have a team that you're building. How well you elevate them, how well you hold people up is going to really dictate the future for you and everybody that you're on the ship with. You're the captain. Don't blame somebody else for what you can take responsibility for. You have to steer that ship. And if you realize you're off track, just get back on. So when you know what you want, back it up and take an easy step, 1 step towards that, okay? That's what the process is, okay? All right. So now I just gave you my coaching tools so you can enjoy any area of your life now. You do this process, anything in your life, it works. Okay? How does this apply to real estate now? Rudy's like, come on, man. We're not doing philosophy, right? We want practical out. I had to set the stage. You got to know your why, your motivation of why you go to work, why you do everything you do, okay? And that's the sum, right? We're trying to figure out the sum. Your mission, your purpose. So everyone says what? And think about when you were a kid. People ask you all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? So what are they really asking you? Well, what kind of job do you want to do? That's what they're saying when they say what you want to be when you grow up. What they're saying is, how much money do you want to earn? What they're saying is, what kind of car you want to drive? What kind of house you want to live in, right? Since they're 3 years old, right? They go to school and everybody's like, oh, Johnny, you're 5 years old and you can throw a ball. What do you want to be when you grow up? You want to be a professional baseball player? Are you kidding me? You know how small a percentage of kids that play baseball? But we build this big dream as if it's a reality in kids, right? But the only question we're asking is, what? What do you want when you grow up? What? I'm so sick of that question. Because most people don't even, that's not a reality for a lot of people, the what. The who, you can do something about that. Right? So in my mind, when you have both, that's what's going to get your why. Who plus what equals your why. Our society's only asking what? I mean, could you imagine if you raised your kid and you said, who do you want to be when you grow up? Not what do you want to do, what kind of person do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to attract to yourself when it's time to get married? Well, then who do you need to become so that you attract that kind of person to you? Who do you not want to be so that you can eliminate that many people from your life? This question's not asked enough, and that's why I'm saying your who changes your why. Why do I get up and change my daughter's diapers? Why? Because my who changed my why. You have your team here. Why did you bring them? Why? What's the reason, the purpose? Because they mattered enough to you. Your who changed your why. That's why you're here today. That's why you book a reservation. That's why you're going to feed them. That's why you're going to spend time together. Your who changed your why. And the more focus you can have on your who, the what will come naturally. What do I need to do to support my who? So when you bring them together, consummation happens, and then boom, you have your why. That's why I love our core purpose. Help you, what? Achieve your heart's desire. That's a who and a what equals your why. That's why you're here, part of this team. You're here to help people achieve their heart's desire. The company vision, who do you see down the road? To be the best place to work, buy, and sell real estate in the entire state of California. Who? Your team, the best place to work. What? Or who else? Your clients. Be the best place to sell and buy real estate. That's the who, your clients and your team members. What? We want to be the best in this. I mean, could you imagine being a part of a team? They're like, we want to be mediocre. We want to be a 5 out of 10. We want to just be okay, fine. Right? You wouldn't be here, right? Because you want to be a part of something that's bigger. You want to be a part of something that's moving. You want to be a part of something that has a greater vision. You want excellence. You want 10 out of 10. You want to push the bar. So Rudy has a vision for the who and the what. That's his why. He doesn't have to do this. You do realize that, right? He could probably do better off if he cut half the team and he just kind of did his own thing. Realistically, more people, more problems. That's reality. You got kids? More mouths to feed, more pressure. He doesn't have to do this. There's something inside of him driving him. His reason. Why do you do this, Rudy? What's your purposes? It's this. It's the who, his family, his legacy, his boys, his team that he's building, what kind of experience you want to create. And it's a process, right? It's a process of where you're at. So, I came in last year, this is the beginning of the process. So my job is to find out what's that 5-star experience look like for Rudy as stakeholders and Benny, for management, for all of you, and say, okay, we're not even close to that. This is going to be a journey, man. And there's going to be some bumps along the way. But how do we make sure we're going the right direction? How do we make sure the rudder is turned and the engine is running? Because if we're at a 5 today, how do we get to a 6 by 6 months from now or a year from now? We're not going to go from a 5 to a 10. It's not realistic. You can't be like Google and Apple overnight. I mean, Rudy could come in here and say, all right, everybody, we're getting on a cruise, literally. And he starts handing you out a pass. Here's your flight ticket. Here's your boat. Here's your pass for your family. That doesn't mean you'd be a 10. That's just one thing he did for you. It's about enjoyment. It's about satisfaction. It's about the day-to-day. Team leaders, this is a responsibility on you. What's your vision for your team? How well are you holding them up and casting vision for your team so that they have an amazing experience? You're the captain, man. Ladies, some of y'all are OSAs on Team New Vision. It might be time for you to jump off that ship and say, you know what? It's time for me to be a captain. You may be the next team leader. Right? Some of you may switch from admin into a different role. I don't know what you want. Right? There are opportunities for you, and there are some benefits within the program, and hopefully as the company keeps growing and as the company has more resources, hopefully they can do more. Right? If you meet somebody and you're having a conversation and you talk to them and they somehow give your name and you put the number and your name's attached to that list, right? I don't have a house in California yet. Yeah. Right? So my name's not in the database yet. You know? No. So whoever links my name in the database, when I buy a property, you will get a check. It doesn't matter how long, 6 months, a year, 6 years, it wouldn't matter. Lifetime. Who wants my number?
As long as you are with the company.
Yeah, of course. That is one opportunity that you have to earn $1,500. Just start putting your name, as many names as you can in the database with your name on it. And every time one of them sells, you receive a $1,500 check or more. That's the average, right? If you use your sphere of influence, you go to a party, you hang out with your uncle, you match up with somebody, a friend, right? And you hear they're interested in buying a home, and you say, oh, well, my company does this. What's the payout?
30%.
30% on average, 15,000. How much? $4,500. Yes? $4,500 because you referred your friend. That. How many of you know somebody that has bought a home in the last year that you know personally? Okay. How many of you have used your sphere of influence? Here. Okay. So you received the check.
Well, I'm in the process right now.
Okay. So you are going to get a check. 30% of whatever the sale is. How many of you have ever done repeat business or you've had a referral? How many of you have done that so far here? Did you get a check? So he's not lying, he's telling the truth, you get a check. Okay. So that is an opportunity, whether you answer the phones, whether you're driving, whether you're doing accounting. This is a bonus that's available for all of you. Three different ways for you to earn more money. Okay? And that's not having to change anything. It's just paying attention, listening. What are people saying? Who's interested? And all you got to do is pass them on to the process. There's many steps of the process. You just got to do one part, do one thing. Just get them in the funnel. And your name's on there, you start making the money. So you want to increase your income, but you don't want to be an OSA. Here's an opportunity. You can serve your family. You can serve other people. You don't have to sell anything. You're serving them. They want a home. You have them. Match them. Does this make sense? So that's just one way that you can earn extra money while you're here. Okay. So does this make sense to everybody? Your who plus your what equals your why. Yes? Good. Learning how to listen better. This can help all of your life, right? Let's talk about the 3 levels of listening first. Listening to, listening for, listening with. When you listen to somebody, they're just talking. It's like you're listening to the radio. It's in the background. You're not really paying attention. That's a real low level of listening. The next level of listening, listening for. Salesmen are really good at this. They're listening for something specific so they can hook on, right? Sometimes spouses get really upset. They say, you have selective hearing because you're only listening for what you want to hear, right? So it's more than listening to the radio, but it's only half listening. Listening with is the highest level of listening. You're listening with your whole body, your whole heart, your whole mind. You are there listening to serve them. You're listening with your entire being, body, mind, soul, spirit. You're listening with the intent to serve. My daughter cannot speak, so we call it Surrey language. When she's thirsty, she does this. If I'm not paying attention, she can't get a drink because she can't say, Daddy, I'm thirsty. But what if I spent a whole day and I didn't watch her? I wouldn't be listening to what she's saying. She's talking, but she's not using words. Okay? When I said, hey, how are you? Fine. If I'm just listening to the literal word fine, like it's a text, oh, fine. But if I'm listening with my heart, she's not fine. Something's going on. Hey, what's up? Usually you're like, hey, yeah, good, but you're fine. I can tell when you said it, your voice dropped down. What's up? What's going on? What's wrong? Yeah, well, my kid's sick and I was really struggling to get here at work, and I'm stressed out because I don't know if they're going to be okay. Oh, okay. You know, so do you need to leave a little early today? Do you need to come back? If you need to come back, or what's going on? No, I think it'll be all right. Okay, you sure? If you need anything, just let me know. Okay, thank you. Now they can kind of clear. You doing all right now? Yeah, thank you. Now they are fine. But before that 2-minute conversation, they weren't fine. They said the word, but they weren't. So how good you listen, you can get more information. Okay? So the better you become a listener, the better you're going to be able to serve people. Yes? So I want you to think of yourself as an architect. An architect would never walk in somebody's house and say, hey man, how you doing? What's your name, sir?
Rudy.
Rudy, nice to meet you. So I heard you want to build a house. Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. So I think you should build maybe 2,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms. Does that sound good to you? But listen, man, I have the best company in California. I mean, we're amazing. We help everybody. We built the governor's home. Come on, I know what I'm doing. Listen, how many bedrooms do you need?
4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms, okay. So if I can find you that 4 bedroom, you ready? When do you want to get? When do you need to move?
Probably next year when my son gets older.
Next year when your son gets older? Okay. Next year. Okay, hey man, when you're ready to Really, dude, just give me a call, okay? First of all, bragging on myself. People are already like, forget you, right? Second of all, I didn't listen. I came in, I'm telling. Now this is going to bring it all together. Remember when I did this? Did I tell you anything?
No.
No.
I asked every single question I could possibly ask you to get you to it. Teaching, is that your training? Does this resonate? How do you say it in a way that they get when you're trying to figure out their why?
That's great. Why?
Why are you selling? Okay, so this is the paper. You literally take this paper
Yes.
and you're the interviewer, they're talking, you're writing it out, right? Okay, so you're asking the question, why are you selling? And you're trying to get to the main heart's desire, why they're selling, their motivation, okay? And sometimes you guys think about the timing, but the timing's not the issue. They would not be in front of you if they weren't ready already, because they wouldn't have made it to the process. There's 6, 7 steps. They had to see the ad, they had to pick up the phone, they had to call you, they had to get screened, they had to talk to Margaret's team, they had to book the appointment. By the time that they're in front of you, if they weren't ready, timing, they wouldn't be in front of you. Is that correct? They're ready. So when you get in front of them, if they say, oh, it's going to be a year, either they lied along the journey, or they're using that as a mask in front of you because they don't want to be sold. Right? But the fact that they're in front of you suggests that they are ready. They're at your restaurant, they're hungry, they want something to eat. So ask them what they want. What do you want? Does this make sense? So when we're trying to find the motivation, we're trying to find out why. Why are they buying or selling? Not when. They've already done that. Rudy's team has already taken care of all that. You don't need to know when. I don't know that I'd even ask that. I don't even care. Because I know if I serve them well enough, if I bring the dessert platter, they're going to grab one. So the when is not the motivation. The why is the motivation. Okay? So when you get to the why, how are you going to find the why? Both. Sometimes you're out there and you're asking, hey, why do you want to sell the home? Well, because my house is too small. Well, because I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Why do you want to buy a home? Because I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's not why. That's what they want. What else do you want? Well, I want to live near this neighborhood because my son is going to be enrolling in this school. Ding, 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 ding. Who are they making this decision for? Not what, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They don't care. They're doing it. They need to be in a specific location because why are they buying? Because their son. Does this make sense? And the more you can discover the who and the what, both, most of you focus mostly on the what.
Conversation when I met, most of the sellers actually I met, they tried to put their DHI, like I don't really need to sell. Like maybe half of them actually like, okay, I need your help. That's when actually they call in from like expire or they really get the money. So half of them actually like, they know that they're talking to a salesperson, so they try to put their D up and trying to sell their house, trying to sell themselves. So basically I was just there to listen to them, to listen to the story, and I keep on asking questions that would make sense to me. Because if now it doesn't make sense to me, then I will never move forward. Because if I didn't get enough information why they need to sell and what's important to them, if I move forward, I'm just gonna kill myself.
Right.
They're gonna think I'm bragging about myself, about my team, and how good we are. But when I listen to their story, then that's where I know how to serve them better. That's where I chime in all the important for them doing the presentation. So like that story in Temple City, I met the seller. She actually, the husband and wife actually told me, you know what, we actually like to plan things ahead of time. We want to move next year. It's because my kid right now, 4 years old, she's gonna turn 5. So when she's 6, we want to move to a different city for a better school district. So I'm like, wait, why are you calling 1.5 years like ahead of time? Wow, they actually plan to have time. So actually I dig deeper, right? What would make them actually make a move? What would make them jump?
So you're finding out their why, and you said you're finding out who's the most important to them,
right,
and what is the most important to them.
correct.
And the timing, she heard 1.5 years later, but she wasn't asking, she wasn't looking for the timing, she was looking for the why. So as she listened for the why, not the when, this is what happened.
So I find out what would make them jump. It's what's going to be most important with basically the home. So I asked them, if I find you a home today that really matches your criteria, would you make the jump on it right away? They're like, yeah, I never thought about that. So yes. So what I did after that, actually, because what they're looking for is actually Temple City School District. They have a budget, so it's really hard to find what they're looking for. What I did was actually I tried to look for off-market properties, and I would actually show it 2 days after meeting with them. So they actually just opened up to me after we closed escrow. They told me they actually interviewed other agents after me, but I was the only one that actually proactively showing them what's important to them. That motivated them to actually make a move. So in just less than a month, they actually moved.
So it's a lot like the story when Rudy comes to the restaurant and they're sitting down and they're saying, I'm hungry, I have a pain point, I want to make a decision, and you walked in and they basically said, I'm hungry now, because you have listened to what I actually want. You found out the location was for their son, that's the whole reason that they're making this move, and you found out what was in their budget, you found out what size they want, you discovered. You're basically like an architect, not like the example I gave, okay? And I think we'll call you up for more. Thank you. Listen, I'm here to find out what you're looking for, and I know that you want to build this amazing property. So can you tell me, like, who do you see enjoying this property that you're going to be building?
My wife and my 2 sons.
Okay, so your wife and your 2 sons. Who else do you see coming to your house? Do you ever have relatives coming over, or are you social? Do you have guests? I mean, I want to make sure that we build what you're looking for. So do you need a social type setting or more seclusive?
Yes. I like to have friends over, but my wife don't. So if we have a big yard, maybe with a second house at the back, okay, that way I can have my own things going on, and my wife can have her privacy on the front house.
Okay.
And then at the same time, her parents come here at least once a year. So when her parents come, then they can live at that, kind of like the back house that I used to invite my friends.
Okay, that's awesome. And what size or what neighborhood are you thinking? What are a couple options that you think would serve your family the best?
We really like where we live now. We live in Temple City.
Okay.
And we like this area, so around here will be okay.
Okay.
It's close to my son's school, it's close to my work. I work 10 minutes from here. My sons go to school about 10 minutes from here, so we like this area.
Okay, very good. So an example right there, if he just said, we like Temple City, and in my mind, I could just, okay, check the box. But if he didn't tell me why, I'd say, well, why do you like Temple City? And then I find out it's because of school and because of work. That's his who and his what, right? If I only look at it as a where, geographical location, I still haven't tapped into his why. more specifically. You know, his heart's desire is not Temple City. His heart's desire is a quality education for his son. Does this make sense? Because if a better quality education is in another area, he's not loyal to Temple City, he's loyal to his children. And he's going to do whatever it takes for his kids. He's loyal to his wife and his team. So if I don't understand that, I might miss something. So the better I am at asking questions, the more information I get, the more I can be like an architect, and I draw out this blueprint, and I'm spending my time not telling him why he should choose my company, what he should do, why he should do. I'm asking him. I don't know. I think a lot of times we come in here with information. If you're a sales agent, you probably like to talk. You're not here to sell and tell. You're here to serve and ask. It doesn't say go sell big. That's not why we're here. We're not here to go sell big. Go sell and tell. We're here to serve. Remember, if I'm Mr. CEO, I'm Mr. Rudy, my face is on everything, and I'm this big guy, let me tell you, some people might jump for it and join that train, and other people go like, forget you, man. Right? But if he comes in and he says, hey, man, how can I help you? How can I serve you? What are you looking for? I need to make sure I understand what you're wanting for the people that are most important to you, for the things that are most important to you. Do you know what's the most important to them? If you're sitting down with a client, you have no clue. So you have to ask. And the better you become at asking, the better you are serving, and the better you serve people, the more transactions you're going to have. Because let's face it, do you really believe and know that you have more homes and more access to homes to serve them better? Is he actually generating more homes? Do you have more homes in your database that are off market that some other real estate agent, they can't get access to those yet? Is that true?
Yes, we are the only company that can show all homes, including for sale by owners coming soon, because we know how to negotiate our own piece. We are not relying on the MLS.
Okay, so you know that. Do you have to tell them that? They don't know if you say that or not. So if you ask them what they want, so Rudy and I spend 2 hours, and we design like an architect. And I'm asking him, so what kind of size and what area and who's going to be in here? So you're saying this is going to serve your family's needs, and then we're going to have this extra house so that when your in-laws come in from the other country, they have a quality place to stay. You have a big yard so that then he can still chill out and not have to talk to anybody, but yet the boys can go out and play. You know, the sun's going to be coming from this direction, so how do we want to tilt the house? We have this bank over here, so we have to get an engineer to make sure we have the right retaining wall. I'm asking him all the things that he wants, and I'm saying, I'm writing this down. I'm drawing the blueprint, and I said, is that what you say you want? And he says, yes. I can get that for you tomorrow. I already have it. I have that exact property, exactly what you're looking for, and I have it in other people's. When you ready to do business? Congratulations. My role play, the first person that came, I was bragging about how great I am and all the things I can do, versus the second one, I came in to ask, to serve him, to find out, because I don't know. I'm asking as many questions as I can to discover, to help. I'm putting him in the dream. I'm figuring out what is the real motivation here. Who's this decision going to influence? Why are they doing this? And the more information I have, the better I can serve him and his family and his in-laws. Do you believe that you can serve people the best? Because if you don't, I would encourage you to work on that. Work on yourself. If you need to learn how to ask better questions, we need to do that. So let's just do that for a minute. So agents, what are you asking them? How are you finding out their why? What are real life questions when you're sitting in front of somebody, you take that paper. How long have you been doing this paper?
This year, 6 months.
6 months. So you're all doing this, right? I hope you're not flipping over that page and you're telling them everything. If you are, that's actually good news.
We can learn.
Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you
Learn.
No, dominate. Y'all want to just be on the lower end? Don't be like my team that we're learning. Be like the team that you're 10%. That means you're winning 10% of the time. It's like a game. Bless you. That means 9 out of 10, you're going home being like, man, you're driving home. Get back in the car and you're thinking about it. Or maybe you're not even thinking about it. Maybe you're like, well, it don't matter. I got another appointment tomorrow. Or I got one at 4 o'clock. No big deal. Really? Imagine if you could save half your time. So if you like your income level and you want better lifestyle, just convert more and don't work anymore. You have more free time. Or use that time to build a team. Or use that time to do something else. Serve more clients. It's up to you. You just exposed it. And when he's at a 5, because he doesn't understand the information, now he's at, what would make it a 6 or 7? He started opening himself. The client starts saying, well, this is it. Why are they protecting this? Because they know if you know this, then they're going to make a move. So your job is to walk them through the process of opening up, sharing the story, so that you can serve them. Now, if you start asking me that question, and I start opening up, and then you say, well, I got it for your wife because we're the number one, I'm going to go right back to here. Relationships are every day. They're a process. How many of you went on your first date and then you married the guy the next day? Or the girl? Right? How do we make this a reality? Second mile service. We go serve big. Second one, empower and inspire others. That's what you just did right there. Thank you. You shared your story. You inspire others and you empower them. You're equipping them and empowering them so that they can take the keys and then they can do this, right? So, how about for you? Let's hear a couple other questions. Mindset, practical questions. I talked to Michelle on the phone last night. She said, about half of my time I'm spending asking and trying to find out their motivation. Half. And then the rest I'm serving them. So it's a good 50-50. It's a mindset. Ben's saying, I expect them when I come in to be closed, so I expect on the couple visits it's going to take me to get them to open up. He doesn't expect them the first time to marry. He didn't meet somebody and say, will you marry me? Which means, will you sign your name on the dotted line? That's the marriage, the proposal, right? He's saying, I got to take time and build my trust with them, build my rapport, show them that I care, show them that I'm here to serve them. Now, if I sat down next to Alfred and I got to talk to him and I said, hey man, I know you're doing this nonprofit and we just started a nonprofit for my daughter and children like her, and is that something that might be interesting to you? Is that something that you would like? He may consider it more. But when I just come up in his grill, right? So that's what we're talking about, the process of natural relationships. So it's a process, it's a mindset. Expect people to be a little standoffish at first and earn it. You have to earn their respect. You have to earn it. You're earning your paycheck. You're earning them signing their name on something that you get a commission. You have to earn it. They're not just going to give it to you. So on the front end, the better you can do at your discovery and be like an architect and less like a salesman, and you discover their dreams, their needs, their wants, and they're in the zone, and you got them dreaming. It's like, man, I need to do this now. You're getting them in the zone. You're serving them. You're earning their respect. You're earning their business. So who else is earning business? Who else is somebody that can share your secrets to inspire others? How do you get to figure out people's motivations? What are the questions that you seem to be working? If you step back and think, man, the ones that I end up closing, this is the common theme I'm seeing. This is how I'm doing it. Looking for their desires or wants. The better you're able to do that, the better you're going to be able to serve them. And if that's what you're here for, your numbers should go up. You should see a measurable difference because you are coming in to serve. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm hearing. When we come in to serve big, we can expect bigger results. When we're coming in to sell, it's dropping off. The feedback, that's what the data is telling us. When we're talking about ourselves and we're telling, they're dropping off. When we're coming in asking, listening, and we're here to serve them, and we will follow through with what we're going to say, we're going to do, your numbers go up. I mean, you're going to get more referrals that way. You're going to get more repeat business that way because you serve them well. How many of you ever gone to a restaurant and somebody served you really well and you went back to that restaurant because of that server and the good food? Because have you ever done that in your life? Yes. So that's what we're talking about. Out of all the restaurants in the whole area that you could have gone to, you went. Why? Because of the who and the what. Both. You didn't just go back for the food, the what. You went back for the who because somebody served you really well. You could have the most amazing server, but if the food's crappy, they're not doing business. You're not going there. It has to be both. So I think what we're covering today is what does not equal the why. The who and the what equals the why. And I'll close this with my story. So I told you this last time I was here. When I was a kid, I was a really troubled kid. I got in a lot of trouble. I came from a broken family, divorces, abuse, alcoholism with my stepdad. I mean, it was rough. I had a really rough upbringing. And then, you know, if you have a puppy dog and you bring it home and you kick it, you spit on it, you tell it how stupid it is, what kind of dog do you think you're going to have? Not a happy-go-lucky dog. You're going to have a defensive, angry, hurt dog. That's who I was becoming. And then God came in my life, and He changed me from the inside. He healed me. I had a new father. I had a new value system. So my who changed my why. I used to lie, steal, cheat, but my who changed my why. I speak the truth. I earn an honest dollar. I work hard. My who changed my why. Then a couple years later, I met this amazing young lady named Lynette, and we were friends for 3 years, and I enjoyed spending time with her, and I would brush my teeth more. I'd take more showers. I would start saving more money so I could take her out on Friday. Why? Because my who changed my why. She changed my why. And I married her. I asked her to marry me. We've been married 19 years in about 2 months. So then, yeah. Amen. Without God in my life, I wouldn't still be married. I know it. I promise you. I know I couldn't have held a marriage together. So then, a couple years later, we were going to wait 5 years to have our first kid. 3 years later, here we go. Right? So in my house, my office became a nursery. Instead of doing my work, I had to have a crib. I didn't even have an office. I'm trying to figure out where to get my work done from. Why? My who changed my why. So then we moved to Tennessee, and we're in this little foreclosed house, and that's how I met Tracy King. He sold my house. I started serving their team. We started getting results from 20% retention rate to 80% in 1 year. So he said, hey man, I'm going to start telling my friends out in Phoenix. And I started working with the team. I'll be flying there today, this afternoon. And then they picked up the phone, they called Rudy. They're like, hey man, bring this guy out, right? So we're in this foreclosed house, and we adopt this girl that is in a wheelchair, and we have to pick her up, the wheelchair, because there's no ramp. So I'm like, we need a house, we need a different house, we need a bigger house. So we couldn't sell our house. We were trying to sell the house we were in, and we moved into our other house. We're carrying 2 mortgages. Why in the world would somebody carry 2 mortgages? Because my who changed my why. I needed a place where I could roll my daughter into and give her her own bed so that my other daughter could have a good night's sleep without hearing her fussing. That's why I bought another house. That's why I'm carrying 2 mortgages. And then I hired Tracy's King's team, and he sold my other house after trying to sell it myself, after hiring another realtor. They weren't getting it done. And then Tracy got it done quick. I was like, hallelujah, thank you, Lord. Yeah. And I'm so thankful that I met Tracy, because I'm able to live out my purpose, which is to do leadership coaching with teams and help other people create vision for their life, right? You know the thing I'm most excited about being here today? I'm excited about your team growing, don't get me wrong. But you know what I'm most excited about? Every single one of you, how many of you would have hired me to help you develop a relationship with the person most important to you? None of you. But because Rudy values the team, he brings me in, and I get to serve you to help you create a vision for your life. So if I see you next year, if I see you 6 months from now, whenever, and you come up to me and you say, thank you so much, Robert and I are laughing more, we're hanging out. You know what? To me, that is more important, the most important, because you're family. That's why I got into this, because I wanted to serve families, and no one would hire me. I'm like, well, these businesses are hiring me, but they're giving me access to their people, so I'll do both. And that's what I'm doing, right? So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you, Rudy. I'm thankful, Benny, Andy. I enjoy meeting with you. I hope we can continue to keep moving. We are not where we need to be. We are not the best place to work and buy and sell real estate in California. We are not. Survey said when you were out of the room, Rudy, I'm sorry to break the bubble. We are not the best. We can become the best. We can keep moving. Keep the vision. That's a great vision. Don't lose it. This is a great mission. Don't lose it. These are great core values that will help steer you. Now we need practical action steps. How do we go from a 6 to a 7? Not from a 6 to a 10, because once we get it 6 to a 7, then we can move to 8. Then we can move to 9. Then we can go into 10. And then by that point, you'll probably have 3 more businesses. Right? And you'll have more team members that you're serving. And hopefully the quality of everyone's experience, from admin all the way to a team leader, it doesn't matter. Everyone's improving, right? And I'll close you with this. In the 1960s, there was a race. Which country could be the first to get to the moon? Different countries are going. They're using all their resources. And there's this businessman. He walks into NASA, and he's being escorted around. He's walking down, and they're showing him the facility that they're going to be the first, right? In America, they're trying to race. And they bring him in, and there's this guy pushing the broom real hard. And he turns around, and he looks up, and he puts the broom down, and he walks up, and he says, right to the businessman, "How you doing, sir? My name's Joe." And the businessman said, well, hey, Joe, nice to meet you. He said, what are you doing here? He said, I'm here to get a man on the moon. Very nice to meet you, sir. And he kept walking, and he's talking to this guy that has a suit on. They're walking, they look back, and he's like, man, what's his position here? Well, he's a custodian. He's a janitor. He was living on purpose. He knew his mission. His heart's desire was to be a part of a team that would be the first group to put somebody on the moon, and he could have that self-pride. It wasn't about his position. It wasn't about his role. It was about his heart's mission, his heart's desire. So I want to encourage you, whatever your mission is, whoever's most important to you in your life, in your business, in your community, whatever the most important things are to you, when you combine them together, that's your mission. You can wake up and get on mission. You can go to bed tired, hopefully not exhausted, but tired with a smile on your face saying, I lived another day on my mission. We are progressing. We are the captains on the cruise ship, and I have the rudder turned 1 degree. We're headed towards the 5-star island. I got the engine running, and we are going there. That's what I want for you. It's your mission, it's your vision, it's your values, and the better you serve other people, the better you're going to be able to reap the benefits of that. All right, thank you. Yesterday, it's kind of like an iceberg, right? So you have the water here, then you have the iceberg that comes in. So these are questions that when you ask, you can see them, they tell you, but there's all these other things down here that you're trying to get to asking the question. So if they're comfortable talking about their family and you start trying to dig deeper and they're getting hesitant, well, you know, go back to the family. If they're comfortable talking about the area, the location, and you start trying to figure out the who more, you're digging deeper, you're asking more questions, you can always go back to what they already started and go a little bit more because they've already opened up about that, if that makes sense. So that's one strategy. Now, practically, in your context, I'm not a real estate agent, so is Stella here? Ben? What's a practical question when you're starting to get this resistance, either a story or a practical advice that you can give to what she's asking? Do you understand what's on a range out of 10, 1 to 10? 7? Okay, well, what would a 10 look like? Now, if they answer that question, you now know that was. So you asked enough questions to get them to see a property, and then he's using an actual number or scale. Okay, how does this serve your needs? Like, you're telling me something, I'm processing your information, I'm trying to show you something. Am I on, am I off? It's not a yes or a no, it's a range. Oh, about a 5. Okay, well, what would a 10 look like? Well, we need the backyard for our kid. Now you start hearing the story. So what he's saying, it might take a couple meetings for him. Does that give you practical tools there?
Yes.
Okay, given information. So he's taking the why, what they're telling him, and saying, okay, well, does this meet your needs? No. Okay, why? Because now I got more. So it's a process, it's a layer. I shared enough I went from here to here, but I'm not going to spend 24 hours with you. So, okay, I'm going to go take you to a property. So day 2, I'm over here looking at the property. Is this what you're saying? No. Why? Because now you know more. Okay, so now I have 3 properties from what you're telling me. Which one do you want? Is this what you're looking for? Yes. Thank you. Like this? Yes? No. That's a closed question. There's only 2 answers. If you say, what do you like about this? there's a million things that they could say. It's not either a yes or a no. I like this because they say, and then you could say, well, what else? More information. What else? Well, that's it. Oh, okay, cool. So instead of a yes or no that was very limited and you only had a little information, you asked an open-ended, well, what do you like about this? Or when Ben gets here, well, what would a 10 look like for you? Because he's not assuming he knows. He could just be like, do you like this? Yes. You want to buy it? No. Okay. Well, do you like this? No. And you're running around trying to show him all these properties, and you're probably complaining about the client, but you did a horrible job asking the questions, right?
Yep.
Rather than saying, well, how do I need to raise my skills up in learning about others? Because if I fully understand them and I give them what they want, they should do business with me. I have earned their business. When Rudy and I were role playing, I asked him what kind of house he wanted. He told me the area. Well, if I would have stopped listening and thought his who was just his family, we would have never got to the extra house that he needs in the back because his in-laws are coming in. His who changed his why. He needed that kind of a property. So if I'm only listening for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, the who, just him and Benny and their 2 boys, and I start showing them, he's going to say no, right? They can't do that. Well, then Ben comes in and says, well, if on a scale of 1 to 10, what does this property? He's like 3, 5. Well, what would make it a 10? Well, my in-laws are coming, so I need an extra quarters for them. Oh, but if you would have had that information back here, because you took the time, right? You wouldn't have showed them that one. You would have at least showed them a property that was closer, and it may have been an 8 instead of a 3 or a 5. So the quicker you can get them the exact match of what they want, the quicker the sale's going to happen. And that's what we're trying to speed up. We're trying to be more efficient. So if you come in with the posture of, I don't know. You do know real estate, but you don't know their heart's desire. You do know the team that you're a part of, but you don't know who the most important is to them. You don't know what the most important is to them. You don't know their why. So just because they start telling you a few things, don't assume that you know. You only know this much. I have no idea who the most important was to you, right? I don't know. I didn't know Robert was the most important to you until I asked you, and then I walked through the session, and then you shared that way. That was a privilege. That was you being vulnerable in front of everybody, sharing your story, which I appreciate. And I really hope that that becomes a reality for you, right? I really want her in my mind, just like you're saying, you're happy. I'm happy because she was smiling and she said she's confident that I see her I don't even know what her son looks like. But I see her laughing with him already, and that makes me happy. Because that's my why. That's me. My why is to see other people enjoy their why. Right? And like he said, I'm giving you my best. I hope that you use your resources to bless others. Because I told him the first time, I don't care if you make another $1 million. I don't. What I care about is people enjoying their life. And whenever I'm back in Tennessee and I see Children's Hospital, that you guys are giving money to it, and he's in Indonesia helping out, and Benny and his boys are at Disneyland that makes me happy. If I call them and we go from 10% to 20%, the only reason that makes me happy is because I know you are improving your life and you're impacting more people's lives. That's what makes me happy, if that makes sense. So, just like that's why I'm trying to train you, to teach you, and I don't want to train people that are just greedy. Like this stuff works. But I want to impact and train people who are going to not be hoarders and greedy and selfish. I want people who want to receive. It's okay to make a lot of money. It's okay. It's okay to drive nice cars. It's okay to have nice family vacation. It's okay. But if that's it, it's all about you, that's only a fraction. There's more. There's more people you can give, right? And that's the whole layers. I was starting to talk with your friend over here. I can't remember. Sorry, what was your first name? Freeman. Freeman.
Freeman or Freeman? Which one?
There's different layers of life. And the first is taking care of me. Then the next layer is taking care of us, the people I associate with, my family, my church, my business, my partner. And then if you get at the highest level, that you're helping other people that you won't get anything back from, like I'm good, my people are good, the people I'm around, and now we are so blessed that we're just going to give out to these people that they'll never be able to help me. We want to send money to people, they'll never be able to even thank me. We want to be able to help people and they're blessed. That's the highest level of living you can get because you have the whole thing. Let's level up. Let's do it. You have an opportunity here to level up. I don't know which platform you're on, but let's go. Right, and that's a good question. So you may understand their who, their what. There could be something else missing.
Some obstacles?
It could be personal obstacles that they haven't really, you think they've opened up, but maybe there's more. Or there could be something that happened from the time that you talked to them till now. Maybe their bank account changed. Maybe they were motivated and they got the call last night that their mother in Indonesia is sick. They just changed their whole timing. Right? Life happens.
So do I just call them and ask them what's going on, if they need any help to move forward?
Your posture is, what else can I do to help you? Is there any, maybe scale getting, if you understand what they need and they're saying they're ready, I hate to say it, but you're probably not giving them what they want. Because they walk through all the process, maybe not every time, but your job is to get, that's only the first step. That's like the first date. Yeah, she went out with me on first date. But you want to marry this girl. You want to close the transaction. That's down the road. You just got her to go on the first date. So if you take a girl out and she goes out with you and you buy her flowers and you buy her dinner and then you don't call her and you don't call her and then 6 months you're like, hey, you ready to get married?
Yeah, so in
the process, what do you need to do to keep serving, keep loving, keep showing, keep finding out more? I mean, if you have a relationship, you talk to a girl, she starts telling you something, you don't know anything about her. You know this much. It's going to take a long time to understand who she is, what's important to her, how she ticks, what makes her smile, what makes her laugh, what you shouldn't do, what you shouldn't say, because that brings up past wounds. I mean, every date you're learning more, you're learning more, you're learning more. She's trusting you more. You're serving her, you're giving her everything. And then you say, I put a lot of work in there, right? But I still love this girl. You want to marry me? She's like, yeah. I want to spend the rest of my life with you because you did all this for me. And I can see if this is the kind of person you are, yeah, let's go. And in the real estate process, hey, we have all this stuff. Can I get you one? Yeah. They sign. That's the first date. Then you keep serving. Take them to a property, like Ben said. Hey, does this help you? No. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. Does this look good for you? Yeah. That's closer. And then you get to the point. They're like, I'm ready. This is it. You did it. Thank you so much. And guess what? Thank you so much. You served me so well. I'm going to tell my other friends. I'm going to give you 5 cards. I'm going to give them to them right now. And then you call them. You start day 1. How you doing? And you're getting them to sign. That's what you're doing.
That is perfect.
The last thing would be team leaders. I want to really encourage you to think through. Rudy, this is for you for Team New Vision. And then for all the new team leaders and everyone else who's going to be thinking about becoming a team leader, I want you to have an honest assessment with yourself. How well are you serving your team to win? If you were to rate your team on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you being the best place to work in California? Where is your team buying and selling real estate? And have an honest conversation with yourself and then say, what would a 10 look like if my employees, my team members would say this is the best place to work? Find it out and start moving up the ladder. Find out where you're at in the buying and selling real estate. Find out what a 10 looks like and go to the next level. Because if you keep winning, you're going to start attracting. I told Rudy, if you are really having an amazing environment, you'll know, because people will be walking in the door and you'll be turning down applications all the time. You go to Chick-fil-A, you know how many people want to work at Chick-fil-A? Because they have an amazing culture. So build your culture to win. You define what winning looks like. Dominate, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you
Dominate.
and we won't even talk about the rest.
Thank you, Dion. Thank you. All right.